Hello, stampers and fellow paper crafters. It's Cindy Lynn with my Inkie Fingers. Thank you so much for visiting me today on my YouTube channel and blog. This is a little different. If this is your first time coming to my channel, you don't normally see my face at the beginning of every video, but I've been kind of reevaluating how I do my videos and I've been watching them back, and I feel like I waste too much time telling you guys everything I'm going to be using when you see it anyway, and there's a supply list down below on my YouTube, and I list all the supplies on my blog with pictures. So I thought, you know what? I really love connecting with you guys, so what a better way to connect than to pop on, say hi, talk a little bit about what we're doing today, and then just get right into making it. So if you're new to this channel, this is the Let's Case It, Let's Make It series, and that's where I take a card out of the annual catalog or any mini catalog, anything that's current with Stampin' Up, and I recreate it. If you're brand new, it's a great way for you to look at something and recreate it with confidence. If you are a seasoned stamper, it's also a great way to just get inspiration. I mean, I look at other cards and I love casing cards. It's just, it allows me to just create and not have to spend so much time thinking about my layout. Now we are going to get right into making the card, but I want to let you know that if you stick around to the end of the video, I've got a couple announcements for you. So for fun, I'm going to throw up a picture right here of what my workstation looks like before I make the card. And at the end of the video, I'm going to throw up a picture and let you see what it looks like when I'm done making my card. Now, I did throw in a couple different angle shots with my other camera, so let me know what you guys think of those. I'm trying to make the videos just a little bit more visually interesting and interactive. I want you to feel like I kind of brought you into my studio. I invited you over to make a card with me. So I am going to use the hand-lettered Prose dies there. And I'm going to pull out my purple tape just so that I can kind of hold them in place while I mark my tape. I want to mark the tape so that I can see where my watercoloring is going to go. Now, I just pulled out a scratch piece of paper and I'm going to speed this up ridiculously because this is on just plain Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to slow it down for doing the background wash on actual watercolor paper. But I thought I wanted to kind of put this in here so that you guys could see the difference. So I'm going to take my water spritzer bottle and I'm just going to spritz the background, the watercolor paper, because I want to do a wet on wet. And as you can already see, it's really going down so much differently. When you use watercolor paper, your Stampin' Up inks are going to blend so much better because they're a water-based ink, but they're not a watercolor ink, right? So they work a little bit differently than watercolors. So I'm just going to use my aqua painter. I'm going to put a lot of water in different spots of the pans there in the ink pads, as you can see, because I really want to dilute the color as much as possible. The stronger the intensity of the ink that you pick up, the stronger it's going to show up on your watercolor paper. And it's not perfect to blend if you get too much on there, right? So it's better to go light and then add. And as you can see, I'm just kind of coming in and adding more, and I'm drying it because it does dry back darker than it looks when it's wet, right? So I'm just kind of going in with a little bit more color, and I'm just kind of adding a little bit here and there just to make it, you know, a little bit more organic. I don't want it to look really flat and perfect. I don't want it to look like, you know, it was intentional. I want it to look like, you know, there's little bits of water spots and it's not perfect and just a little more organic, right? So I'm just heating it and I'm adding more color and I'm just kind of playing around with it. And as you can see, I'm trying to add a little bit more vibrancy to the watercolors. Now, you may not want to do that. You may like it really, really light and pastel-y. I tend to like my cards to be a little bit more bold. So I like to add a little bit more color in there. And the nice thing is, if you did get too much, grab your paper towel or a clean aqua painter and just go in and pick it up. You can pick it up before it starts to dry. Not perfectly, of course, because this isn't watercolor ink, but I am going to pull out the Coastal Cabana Pear Pizzazz and Highland Heather reinkers. Those are the same ink pads I used. And I'm just putting a little bit of ink there on that paper pumpkin block. And I put way too much ink, like half a drop, a quarter of a drop. And then I'm adding a bunch of water just so that I can get a nice light color. Now, I do have those little scrap pieces of paper because I want the color that I splatter on to kind of remain perspective with the watercolor wash that I did above it. So I'm just doing the Pear Pizzazz now. And again, I put way too much ink on there, so I'm trying to pull some off and whatnot. Now, I did get a few really big splooges there, really big splatters. Just take your paper towel and just kind of sop them up before it dries. Now, I did use my heat gun and dry it in between each of these splatters of color. I didn't want the paper to kind of sploosh them out, right? So there's a kind of visual of both. And as you can see, using watercolor paper is so much better. Now this blue tape, if you're having a problem getting any of your tape off of any of your paper, heat it up. That stuff comes off like butter. It's so awesome. So now I'm going through my little scrap bin again, and I'm just looking for a little scrap of watercolor paper because I want to put my sentiment on the same type of paper that I used for my background. So I'm going to pull out my Stamparatus, and I keep it to my right in that little shelf there. And I'm going to use the Stamparatus because I'm going to stamp this 4 times. To get a really crisp impression, you really need to stamp it quite a bit. So I stamped it 4 times. Now, don't look at my nails. Oh my God, they are so jacked up. Yes, my nails are real, but I go and I get a very thin overlay put on them. And honey, tell me if you feel my pain, because ain't nobody going to a salon right now. Nevertheless, I put all my letters there on the background, and I used the question mark, as you guys noticed, because I wanted to just kind of place where the other L was going to go. So I placed all of those on the background and used my purple tape, and I ran it through my Big Shot. Now I'm going to put the other L back in there. Keep all your little insides of your letters too. Now I am heating that with the purple tape because I find that it doesn't matter what tape I use. When I run it through my Big Shot, the tape really wants to stick because you squished it on there so firmly, right? So I just used my heat gun to kind of loosen up the gum. Now here, I was going to put the dimensionals, and I thought, oh, who's got time for that? So I'm going to pull out my tacky spray. I pulled out a piece of scrap watercolor paper from my little drawer, as you saw there. And I just pulled out that's just a cardboard box that's I think it was the box for my file folders. So it works perfectly for me to put stuff to splatter and spray. And I used the lid for sprays and the bottom for splatters. So I just thought, you know what, let's use some Aleene's tack it over and over, or not tack it over and over, adhesive spray. I can't link it for you guys because we have adhesives, but it just made my life so much easier. I didn't have time to put all the dimensionals on these. So I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere that down to the back of my card. And that's a top folding A2 size card. And the actual watercolor paper is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I was going to put the glue on the letters, and I thought, why? Let's just put the glue right on the background. I'm going to use my tweezers to kind of place those all. You guys are always asking me where I got those tweezers. They're Cricut tweezers, and they come in a kit with a whole bunch of other tools, and I can't find them on their own. But if I can find tweezers that work like this, I'll definitely let you guys know. So I'm just putting all the letters in there, and then the inside pieces, those just go flat right down onto the back of the card. So only the letters are raised up. I didn't glue the insides or put 3 layers on the insides. So I'm just going to use the foam strip, and I'm going to put that on the back of that cute little sentiment, and that came out of the Label Me Bold. Now, of course, if you know me, I've got to put all of that black marker on all of the foam, and I actually lined all the outside of the watercolor paper too, because it was thicker and you could see where I'd cut it, the white. So I made sure that I lined it, colored over top of that. I'm going to use the iridescent sequins and the woven thread sequins, and I'm going to put pink on the Highland Heather. I'm going to put the blue on the Coastal Cabana, and then there's some little green ones, and I put those on the Pear Pizzazz. And then I just use I don't know why I never use the other end of the take your pick. I never think of it. I'm always using my tweezers for everything. That is like one of my 100% must-have tools for sure. That was a super fun card. I really like how it turned out. I kind of wish that I had made one prior to making the video, which I normally do, but now I didn't, so I only have one. I wish I had more. I may have to make some more because they were super, super easy to make. So as promised, there are two things I want to let you guys in on. First thing is, this is today, at the time of filming this video for you guys, it is Saturday, April 25th. And I launched the giveaway today, my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, yay! So I wanted to let you guys know that I launched that on my blog, on Instagram, and my Facebook page. So if you're not following one of those, definitely click one of those links down below and go enter in that contest, because that's for you guys. I mean, I want to see one of you guys win it, because it's because of you guys that I'm here at 1,000 subscribers. The second thing I wanted to let you know is I did launch all the information about the Facebook Live video with Antonio Makes. That is going to be on my Facebook page on Saturday, May the 2nd at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I'm super excited, but I'm super nervous. I've never done a Facebook Live video, and I mean, it's a little different. I mean, I can edit and retake and stop and, you know, fix what I say or whatnot. I can edit on video, but on live, it's like bam, in your face. This is how we're doing it. But you know what? I'm pretty sure I know who's going to be there to support me. So I can't wait to see you guys. I may even log in 10 or 15 minutes early just to get rid of the jitters. I may even actually have a cocktail. So thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It really truly does help my channel. I'm going to throw up a picture right here of my workstation after making the card. It's really not that bad. I've seen much, much worse. And I'm also going to throw up a picture of the card. I am going to do my studio tour this week, so make sure that you subscribe and click that little bell so you don't miss out on that video or any more of this. And until I see you again, take care and happy stamping!